Okay guys, in this video I thought I would share with you guys some of my favorite YouTubers. Alright, so I'm gonna take a piece of paper just so that when I feel like it I might write some things down. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna write is I am subscribed to 219 different channels, kind of a lot, and I'm going to show you 34 channels. Okay, so just by virtue of making it into this video, already these are guys that are in the top 15%. Okay, so if we subtract that from 100, this would be like 85 percenters and above. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so the first people I'm gonna put up, I'm gonna just call them influencers. Yeah, famous influencers that make it onto that. Okay, so the first one, yeah, kind of the biggest channel in the world, Mr. Beast. Okay, so that would be one of them. Put it over here. Okay, another guy, you might know him, Jerry Rig Everything. Okay, if I feel like talking about some of them, I will. Otherwise, I'll kind of just run through it. Okay, that's a guy I tend to watch a lot of his videos. Okay, this guy, Mr. Who's the Boss, a lot of interesting things, yeah, technological stuff. Okay, and then from the big influencers, got 4 of them, our retired friend Tom Scott. Okay, so a lot of really interesting ideas he would share in his videos. Okay, so those are the first 4. And of course, yeah, like I said, I chose 34 out of 219. So there's a lot of guys that are like these guys, that I still like them, I still watch them, but they didn't quite make the list. Okay, next I got 3 musicians. So like to listen to some music people, like honorable mentions, who didn't make it. One example would be this couple that plays the cello and the piano. They're called Brooklyn Duo. Yeah, I like watching them. Okay, but anyway, who did make the list? There's this guy from the Philippines that plays the guitar, and I just love the way it sounds. He does a lot of covers on famous songs. Yeah, his name is Ibarra the Second. Okay, not too many people have heard of him. If you haven't, he's worth checking out. Okay, this guy is crazy good at the guitar. His name is Brandon Acker. Okay, Brandon Acker made it. Okay, and then the last one for music is Davey 504. Okay, so Davey 504 did some pretty funny stuff. He has some zingers, some funny lines, and there's this thing called Sdai, SDAIAY. That is about the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and that's one of Davey 504's creations. Yeah, I like listening to music sometimes. There's definitely some others that I'm leaving off. Yeah, this guy almost made the list. I even printed a thing for him, Charles Berthoud. I don't know how's his name. Yeah, but he also plays the bass. Didn't quite make the list. Okay. Okay, what's next? Random. Okay, so some things that are kind of just random that I end up watching. The first one would be Lockpicking Lawyer. Okay, so some of you guys know him. He picks locks. Okay. Who else? Joe's Marble Runs. I haven't been watching them as much as before, but I just think it's funny to watch marbles racing and then have commentary for it. Yeah. My team was, I think they were called like Orbs of Chaos or Balls of Chaos or something like that. I used to always root for those marbles whenever they had those tournaments. Oh, something to point out, guys. So I am actually going in order of worst to best. Of course, if you're in these top 34, you're already in the best. Okay, but so according to this, yeah, as good as Mr. Beast is, I actually I'm going in channels that I seem to like more and watch more. Okay. All right. So in fact, I should change the order. Sorry guys. I should be going this way. I'll fix this fast, guys. This will be fast. Okay. So yeah. So higher up and more this way is I like it more. Okay, so for example, I like Davey 504 a little bit more than Brandon Acker in terms of how much I like to watch it. Okay, and I like watching marbles a little more than a guy picking locks. Okay, now we're good. Okay, this is probably the smallest channel by far on this. Not sure, but there's this guy, Hacks by Dad. Okay, hey, this guy, man, he's helped me with a lot of things like my toilet and stuff. I like him. Okay, and then this is a pretty random one, but there's this guy in Tennessee called Out of the Woods, also one of the smaller channels that I really like, and he just cuts wood. He has a sawmill, yeah, and he cuts wood and then he pours water on top of the wood so you can see the grain. Oh, so relaxing. I like his voice too. Good guy. Out of the Woods. Okay, so what have we covered so far? We got some influencers, some musicians, and then random stuff. Okay, next. We all like laughter and funny things, yeah, guys? So my next area will be funny. Okay, how many did I choose? 3. I chose 3 funny guys. Okay, 1, Aussie Man Reviews. Okay, I like some of his videos more than others, but for the most part, I get a good laugh out of them. I don't know if I click on every video, but click on quite a few. Every now and then I'll get into these guys. Yeah, I'll go down the Just for Laughs gags rabbit hole, and they do make me laugh. I'm not sure if they're based in Canada. I really don't know, but for some reason I get the feeling that they're in Canada or something like that. Okay. And then this guy, okay, Marshall Patrick, he does skits where he pretends he's like different things or that like workplace kind of stuff, like construction. If you haven't seen him, very funny, okay? I really like his skits. He's a very smart guy, that guy. All right. Okay, so what was that called? That was called Funny. Okay, science, couple guys that there's quite a few science channels I watch. Who's getting left off? Veritasium is getting left off for this. I'm not sure who else, but anyway, Nile Red, okay? And he has Nile Blue. Nile Red is his more serious channel. That's more like solid science. Nile Blue is his funny channel where he does really weird and funny stuff. But yeah, he's a pretty popular channel. And then, but yeah, if it's coming later, I like it even more. I like this guy, guys, the Action Lab. Okay, simple stuff he does. Just I like it. I like his presentation, the Action Lab. I think of all the science guys, he's consistently the one I like the most. All right, yeah, maybe you guys know some of the same people as me and watch some of the same people. Yeah, kind of fun, yeah, to see. Okay, anyway, who's after this? I would call these people like machinists or blacksmiths. Yeah, so the first one is Fireball Tool. Okay, man, the things this guy builds and sells, crazy. Okay, I love his videos. Man, you know, there's that vise he sells, the Fireball Tool vise. I have no actual good use for that thing, but I so badly want it. just to have it, just to put things inside of it and then hammer away. Okay, very convincing. Okay, it would be like overkill for what I need, but I love it. Okay, and then Will Stelter, I like watching Will. Yep. And then after Will, of course, Will used to apprentice for Alec Steele, so I gotta put Alec above Will. Alec is one of the first YouTubers that I think I really started following. Okay, he high quality production, this guy. Okay, good. Okay, so those are my blacksmiths, and then related to blacksmiths would be knife channels. Yeah, definitely Other knife channels I watch, I guess Knife Center is one that I'm omitting. Yeah. But then we have Metal Complex. Okay, a lot of the knives I found out about have been from him. Yes, Metal Complex. But I believe that this guy is more of an OG, so I gotta put him higher. Okay. Unfortunately, not as many subscribers as a lot of these other channels. Yeah, he's been surpassed by Metal Complex, but we got Nick Shabazz. Okay, I really like Nick Shabazz. I just like his way of being. Okay, all right. His personality just works for me. Okay. Okay, and then these guys, I don't necessarily watch every video they make, but they have influenced some of my choices, and I think they're just a funny couple of guys. Dutch Bushcraft Knives. Okay, so those are my 3 knife channels that I watch the most. Okay, what are these next people called? These people are called good at what they do. So I chose 3 people that I don't even know why I watch them, but they're very good at what they do. Okay, so one of them is a bike channel. Okay, it's called Berm Peak. Okay, this guy's name is Seth. He also has a channel called Berm Peak Express. I actually think I watch more Berm Peak Express videos than Berm Peak. But man, he's good at what he does. Yeah, he's just really good at what he does. Okay, and then we have J.O.B., Jamie O'Brien. Again, very good at what he does. He has a surf channel. Several guys that have channels like him. Quite a production. I'm just fascinated by Pipeline, and I think it's so cool that we can watch the best surfers in the world catch these amazing waves, and that we can get it for free. Yeah. So J.O.B., thank you for letting us watch you and the other shredders out there. Okay. Sheesh. I'll bring this out if I ever feel like writing something again. So far I just wrote some numbers and style. Okay. Okay, then what's next? What was that called? Good at what they do? Okay. And then the last good at what they do guy I chose is Guido. Guido's Fishing Adventures. Okay. So of all the channels, he's the only fisher one. Some of you know I'm a fisherman. But guys, okay, I just gotta tell you one thing about me. I cannot, except for this guy, okay, and every now and then some other guys, even though I'm a fisherman, I cannot watch other people fish. Like something about it just like, ooh, just, I don't know, it doesn't work for me. I wouldn't say it makes my blood boil, but it does something to me that I don't understand. So I can't watch most of them. Okay, but this guy I can watch because he's crazy, yeah, and boy does he earn his fish. And okay, I'll talk a little about Guido. Okay, he's ridiculous the stuff he does, yeah, and I just know I would never ever do what he does. And there were a couple times where I convinced myself that if Guido can do that, I can at least do half of what he's doing, or maybe 1/4 of what he's doing, yeah. So if he walks that far, maybe I can walk 1/4 as far as he walks. If he carries that much gear, maybe I can carry like 1/4 of the amount of gear he carries. If he works that hard, you know, maybe I can like work 1/4 as hard when I go fishing. And so there were these 2 trips where Guido convinced me that I can do more than I'm accustomed to doing. Oh boy, those are not good trips, guys. This guy's crazy, okay? I'm telling you, I only did like 1/4 of what he does in terms of difficulty, weight, and distance. And even that was too much, guys, too much. Guido, you crazy. Okay. And then got a couple golf guys, okay? I watch quite a few golf stuff, but I'm just choosing the ones that I like the most. There's Grant Horvat, yeah. I especially like when he does his 2v2s with Phil Mickelson. Man, I hope they do another season of that. Hoping for that to happen again. You know, when Grant does those, I think I like him even more than the next guy. But Bryson, I love his Break 50 series. Yeah. Super cool to see one of the best golfers in the world just share his experiences with us. Grateful for that. Okay. Okay, and then the next 3 people I would call highly entertaining. Okay, just highly entertaining. Okay, so the first one is my only art channel. Okay, I do watch art videos every now and then, but the guy I consistently go to the most is Jazza. I like how creative he is, how fearless he is, how he just completely jumps into his projects, and he's not stale. Yeah, he doesn't stagnate. He's adventurous and he's constantly trying different things. I find Jazza highly entertaining, as do my kids. Yeah, we like watching Jazza together. This guy, okay, quite a few food channels I watch, but the only one I chose is Max the Meat Guy. Yeah, bruh, tell me not, guys. This guy looks like Mr. Beast. He's like the food version of Mr. Beast. It's kind of funny, but yeah, I just enjoy watching him and learning about different steaks. Oh boy, I love steak. Okay, anyway, I'll put this one here. Okay, and then the last highly entertaining, and apparently I find it more entertaining than the rest of these, is Car Wow. Okay, I love watching car videos. Yeah, I definitely watch the original Top Gear guys, and a lot of other car videos. Yeah, but Car Wow is the one I guess I watch the most. Okay, I'm not even sure why. Okay. Okay, guys, and then we have the top. Okay, so the final four are my favorite four channels. Okay, and you might be surprised by the ones I have. Okay, and they are in order. Okay, but to me, these four channels stand out above the rest, for whatever reason. Okay, and shucks, I don't even know if I can fit them. Okay, but first one, okay, if you're watching, you should be proud, man. There's this guy named Sensei Seth. Okay, not the world's biggest channel. I'm guessing a lot of people haven't heard about him, but I like this guy. Okay, like I love how he shares his journey. He's kind of like the martial arts version of Jazza. Yeah, he's fearless. He dives into things. And I loved watching his sumo journey, yeah, and how willing he is to fail. Okay, but bruh, this guy can fight. He's a pretty thick guy with some pretty big legs, and I respect that. I respect the man with big legs. Okay, okay. So Sensei Seth is one of the top four channels for me. Okay, number 3. The manliest man in the world, guys. Project Farm, okay? What did I say in my other video? The hero that we all needed but didn't ask for and don't deserve. Project Farm, helping us choose what kind of man toys to buy. Yeah, which screwdriver to buy. Okay? Which blender to buy. Okay? So that's Project Farm. Okay, so who are the top 2 channels for me? Okay, well, I know this is one of the top 2 because I never ever miss a video ever. Okay, and hey man, if you watch my video, oh, you've made me more sad than any other content creator on this whole thing. And guys, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna guilt trip my second favorite content creator. Okay, BamaBass. BamaBass, you have broken my heart so many times. So uncool, so unfair. Okay, you don't know you've done it, but I want to explain. Okay, oh man, I so badly want one of the bass in your 5-acre pond to be representing me and to be named after what I want. And so every single time you say, hey guys, go recommend names for me to put in my spreadsheet, I always comment. I'm always like, hey, name it this, name it this. And to this day, I don't have a fish in your pond. I'm so sad. I'll tell you later which one I want. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take advantage of this moment in case BamaBass ever watches this. Okay? And my number 1 content creator, guys, the grand prize, it goes to Magnus Midtbø. Okay, I just love watching this guy's videos. I respect the heck out of him. Okay, I am just fascinated by how crazy and athletic this guy is. He seems to have like both fast twitch and slow twitch muscles. He somehow has crazy pop and burst, but also has unbelievable endurance. And I think my two favorite things about Magnus are one, how like nonchalant and understated he is. Like he is not prone to exaggeration. He's kind of prone to the opposite of exaggeration. So that's one thing. But the second thing is his pain and suffering tolerance. Like the things he does to himself and his body, boy, it boggles my mind. Okay, because I just know that he has a very strange ability to suffer, an abnormal ability to suffer. I think that's pretty cool. I would say that Magnus is a lot like Jazza and Seth. Okay, and clearly like that personality, I like it because those three guys are very high. Yeah. Um, what is it that they have? Fearlessness. Yeah, willing to explore, jump in, dive into things. Okay, all right. Anyway, so yeah, so these are my top 34 YouTube channels out of the 219 YouTube channels I'm subscribed to. Maybe you watch the same channels as me. Maybe you don't. Yeah, maybe you watch a lot of the same channels as me. If that's the case, you probably have some similar interests, and the algorithm feeds you the same thing as it feeds me, right? Anything else here? Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna rename my categories. I'm gonna clear off the table and leave our four top guys. Maybe pull out a few that if I feel like it. Okay. And then I gotta talk about BamaBass. Feel free to leave at this point, guys. Okay. All right. So Mr. Beast, Jerry Rig Everything, Mr. Who's the Boss, and Tom Scott. I call these influencers. Okay. Ibarra, Brandon Acker, David 504 are my musicians. Watching a guy pick locks, watching marbles, watching dad teach me hacks, and watching some guy in Tennessee cut wood, I would call those things kind of random. Okay? Let's see, does any of these deserve? No, nobody deserves to stay out. Okay, Aussie Man, just for laughs, and Marshall Patrick, they're funny. Yeah? Okay, Nile Red and Action Lab are science. Kind of nerdy stuff. Okay. Firewall 2, Will Stelter, Alex Steele, Blacksmith, Machining. Okay. Metal Complex, Nick Shabazz, and DBK, Knife Guys. Burn Peak, JOB, and Guido. Very good at what they do. Yeah. One's a bike guy, one's a surf guy, one's a fish guy. Okay. Grant and Bryson, golfers. Okay. Jazza, Max, and Carwell, highly entertaining. I watch these for entertainment. Okay. Wow, but you know what? None of them. Yeah, some of these are sometimes must watch to me, but yeah, I didn't feel the urge to keep any of these out. Okay, so these are all getting put away. We'll put them up here. Okay, and these I do feel they're so good that I feel like they deserve to be left out. Okay, so Sensei Seth. Okay, Project Farm. You know, Project Farm would be number one if not for these two, obviously. Yeah, BamaBass and Magnus. Okay, all right. I will talk about Magnus real quick, and then I'm gonna talk about BamaBass, and then I'll be done. Okay, you know, I like Magnus because at first I kind of hated on him. You know, I was a hater. There was a video where there was a really long rope, and there was like this big deal to see if this guy named Magnus Midtbø could climb this really high rope. Yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, what a show off, and why are they making such a big deal of this? Why is this being such a production? And I remember thinking to myself, he's overrated. It's not as hard as they're trying to make it out to be. Yeah. And oh man, I love being proven wrong. Yeah. Because I was a hater and I thought he was overrated. But over the years, oh man, I've just had to eat my words and realize, nah, he is not overrated. He is a remarkable human being, abnormal. Yeah. All right, guys. But anyway, BamaBass. I want you to name one of your bass for the letter U. I want you to name it Ulua for me, okay? I want a bass called Ulua, okay? What is an Ulua? An Ulua is a GT. What is a GT? A GT is a giant trevally. What is a giant trevally? A giant trevally, Latin name is Caranx ignobilis. Okay? What is a Caranx ignobilis giant trevally GT Ulua? It is when this fish, in Hawaii at least, becomes 10 pounds. Okay? So in Hawaii, when this fish is under 10 pounds, it's called a papio. Okay? And then, so 0 to 9.9 pounds. It's called a papio. And once this fish hits 10 pounds, it becomes an ulua. Okay? And I want you to name one of your bass ulua. and it works for multiple reasons. First, I think it's kind of funny to call a fish by the name of a different fish. But second, we all know you're trying to create 10 pounders, right? Like that's the dream bass, the 10-pound bass, right? Well, you see the connection? Yeah? Papios become uluas at 10 pounds. And so I want a bass, yeah, named Ulua that eventually becomes 10 pounds, like in Ulua. Anyway, guys, thought it would be fun to show you guys my favorite YouTube channels. These are my favorite 4, okay, with Magnus being my number 1.